What's up, superhumans? BT here. I am really excited. I think we're going to have a good time today. I learned some interesting things about the Aura Ring 3 Whoop 4.0. Got some new insight on the Amazon Halo View. I'm pretty excited for that. And I am really just excited to talk about wearables. I think we're getting some interesting fitness trackers here. The release of the Withings, some interesting stuff coming in 2022. So that's kind of what we are going to be discussing today is wearables. All right, so all things wearables. I've got kind of a little bit of direction of which route I want to take. This Sam, what does Sam say? Geez, my logo's in the way, so we can't even see it. Sam, I'm having great problems with my Polar 10. Won't read when I'm running. Drops to 87%. Can you offer? Sam, forgive me for the communication gap here. It sounds like it's not reading it when you're running, probably because it's really high and it's dropping to 87. This is actually pretty common with a lot of fitness trackers, including heart rate monitors, is that when you reach a really high heart rate, these optical heart rate sensors aren't great, and they have a hard time reading it. That's probably why you're seeing a drop. Just FYI. So today we're going to be talking about all things wearables, and let's see. I really want to start, if you don't mind, with Aura Ring. All right, and yeah. Aura Ring 3, if that's cool. Sorry, I thought I had like actually, why don't we start with Whoop? Why don't we start with Whoop 4.0? I designed all these cool things, so I want to be able to put them up here. Maybe it doesn't even matter that I show them. But Whoop 4.0, I've been using mine now for a little over a month, and I thought I would have some good insight to share with you. I don't know if you saw my last video. If you haven't, there was a video I made, I want to say 2, maybe 3 weeks ago, and I did it on the strain because the Whoop strain for me, when I got my 4.0, the Whoop strain was like so far off, it wasn't even funny. I dropped, in most cases, 60% on average. Like, that's a massive reduction in strain. And mind you, strain is a way of showing you your effort. Right. And there is a kind of a recommended like training route you go given by Whoop accompanied with that strain. So like a strain that's a 10 isn't going to improve your fitness, but it's going to help you recover. This is how Whoop like states it. Anything like if you go up to like 17, that's very intense activity, and that's going to help you increase your fitness. So the problem was I went from doing stuff that was by the strain measure, doing stuff that's going to increase my fitness, and now with the 4.0, doing the exact same type of effort, and it's saying you're not doing anything remotely hard, and this will just help you recover, which wasn't true because physiologically I was kicking my own ass. And my theory on that was that the strain feature just hadn't been ported over to the new data of the 4.0, meaning like it hadn't been made relative because it just wasn't familiar. But I was wrong. So in the last video, I stated I was totally wrong. What had happened is that Whoop's maximum heart rate for me, this is something you can't control. Whoop has to change it, but my maximum heart rate was like 16 beats higher than it should have been. And that's why it wasn't ever picking, it wasn't auto-detecting workouts. It was saying that my strain was too low because it had set the bar so high. So when they brought that back down to the accurate level, now I'm getting 15s and 16s. I knew it was going to be lower because it's more accurate. You're not going to get as many spikes. But Whoop themselves say that it's about 10%. And yeah, I was seeing 60%, which was not accurate. So anyway, got that problem fixed. So that's something I just want you to be aware of. And how could it affect you? Again, one, your strain could be significantly different. Colby Burleson, what's up, player? Colby and I, longtime friends. So will that be a common problem with the Whoop? I I don't know if it'll be a common problem, but it's pretty simple to just write into Whoop, get up onto their customer service, because customer service is a lot better now than it used to be. But I would just say, hey, guys, can you take a look at my maximum heart rate? And if it's really far over, if it's inaccurate, it's going to give you inaccurate strain settings. And again, the only reason that would matter is if you are using the strain to dictate how hard you train or when you take days off, etc. Do you really need it? No, you don't. Like, I didn't need it. It was just bothering me that it was so inaccurate. So now that I have an accurate heart rate, everything's so much more accurate, and it's good to go. Colby, if you have a Whoop, I would just like hit up customer service and just be like, hey, is this accurate? This seems off. It seems off. Whatever. If you just have them look at it, if it's anything more than like 8 or 9 beats per minute, it's probably going to affect your strain. So in 2 ways, I would say it's worth it. Like what Colby just brought up, right? Like making sure that your strain is correct, because if you're using your Whoop to dictate how you train, then it's important that that strain is accurate for you, because you're going to dictate rest days and hard days and overreaching days, etc., based on that. The other way that it could affect you is in auto detection of workouts, because that bar is so high and you're not hitting it. Like if that bar was down here, this would be a higher percentage of this. But once that bar is moved up, now we've got a bigger gap that we need to fill. And if you're not filling that, it's probably not going to auto detect your workouts. And that's exactly what it was doing to me. No matter how hard I worked, the workout never got detected. So as soon as they made the adjustment, auto workouts are now automatically being detected, and it's great. Colby says, still waiting for my 4.0. You beat me to it. This is the next thing I wanted to talk about. Is I know everybody thinks I'm like super Whoop, diehard Whoop, sponsored by Whoop. None of that is true. If I can speak candidly, Whoop effed up shipping. I'm going on, tomorrow will be 90 days of me waiting for my Whoop 4.0. This is Melissa's. She just said, you take it because you care about it way more than I do. So I've just been using my wife's since then. Mine still says 5 to 7 weeks. It has said 5 to 7 weeks for the last 90 days. Like at the end of the day, Whoop has totally effed up and dropped the ball on shipping. And I have seen many, many people just abandon Whoop altogether. Actually, tell me that. Are you guys sticking with Whoop since they've dropped the ball so poorly on shipping? Or are you guys going to like wait it out and use it? Like I love mine. I'm just saying, like, just FYI for those of you that don't have it, even though I am still waiting on mine, I do have one. I really like this one. There's so many pros to this that outweigh the cons of shipping. To me, that's just me. And I'm really excited about the new fitness gear. Colby asks, well, then your recovery would be of as well, correct? Colby, I don't know if you're speaking in tongues, but I think I get what you're saying. Yes, your recovery is tied into the strain. So yeah, your recovery numbers would also be more accurate, and I'm experiencing that as well. So let me know in the comments. Just take a quick poll here. I wish I had like a poll feature. Sorry, driving. Don't text and drive. It's snowing out there, crazy bastard. Listen, if you guys are sticking with Whoop 4.0, let me know. If you're not, let me know, and let me know why. Like, what is the reason you're abandoning 4.0 if you already pre-ordered, or if you're getting something else? Let me know. I'd love to know what you guys are interested in. Along with my shipment of my custom 4.0, I have a bunch of the clothing company coming. Sorry, I just have trouble speaking. Listen, I've got, I wish I could show you. Let's see, let's go in. I can show you. Oh my gosh, I love technology. Technology is the best. What is happening right now? Okay, guys, well, I thought I was going to show you. I wish I could, here, I'll show you this. Look, I don't know if you can see that. My screen is like auto typing for me. I can't, it's not, something happened. Oh, there we go. I think it stopped. Nope. It's just typing periods for some reason. Show the keyboard. All right, I plugged this in. Here, I can just show you. I want to show you what I'm buying, but I'm not doing this. Like my hands are free, and it's just typing in periods. So I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to show you that. But I got a bunch of the Whoop 4.0 clothing coming, and I'm actually really excited about that. I've got like a pair of their sport boxers, a pair of the regular boxers coming, a compression shirt. I think those are the main three right now, and the new sleeve. So I'll be testing those out and giving you kind of like how I feel about the whole system altogether. I think Whoop is doing some really interesting stuff with the clothing, and I could definitely see other brands like Lululemon or Nike or something like that also getting involved in doing a collaboration and offering Whoop specific clothing. David, I have Whoop 3. I inherited it from my wife, who has a Whoop 4 already. I haven't made the decision whether the data is worth the price. Yeah, I mean, $30 a month is a lot for a subscription, let's be honest. Something really interesting is that we can kind of go into if we want is Oura Ring, but you know, everybody's just going into subscription models right now, and I get why, because you have to have reoccurring. You've got to have reoccurring revenue. Like you've got to have revenue that goes over and over and over again. So let's jump into Oura Ring 3. Oura Ring 3. Right now, here are the things you get when you get an Oura Ring 3. And I want to talk about some of these things that I've learned. Daytime HR, that's heart rate, live heart rate, restoration time, period prediction, workout heart rate, advanced sleep stage algorithm, blood oxygen measurement, guided audio sessions, educational videos, and slideshows. So a couple of things that I've learned. Let me jump into these questions real quick. Dave, we already talked about this. I have Whoop 3. I inherited it from my wife. Don't know if it's worth the price. Listen, so Oura Ring, well, maybe Dave, just hit me up. Like, what are the other alternatives? What are you thinking about? Maybe I can steer you the right way. This new Amazon Halo View, believe it or not, is actually kind of interesting to me. More interesting than the original. Craig, what do you recommend in testing on whether my tracker is tracking accurately? You're just trying to figure out if your tracker is tracking accurately. Well, the gold standard is a heart rate monitor, so you'd have to compare it to that. Or you could go into a hospital and have them hook you up to a heart rate monitor and have them track that. But that's pretty much the best way. There are a lot of third-party studies that you can always look at and check those out as well. All right. Oura Ring 3, it is interesting. You guys know that I have pretty much shit on their launch since launch because they deserve it. It was horrible. it was so bad. Daniel, thinking about getting an Oura Ring to mainly track my sleep. Do you think it's worth buying the new Oura 3 and deal with the new subscription service? Well, okay, so there's lots of trackers out there that will track your sleep. Oura Ring, that's kind of like their whole thing is sleep tracking. And going back, let me play this one more time. Let me maximize this. So on here, I also need to take this off. You can see advanced sleep stage algorithm right here. Okay, well, that is something new that is coming out for 2022. When is it coming out? I have no idea. Oura Ring is not stating whether or not it's coming out in 2022. Do I think it's worth it to buy a whole Oura Ring and thinking about getting mainly track my sleep? Well, how important is sleep tracking for you? I mean, how granular do you need your sleep tracking to be to make it worth it? There are a lot of sleep trackers out there. For me personally, I would look for a sleep tracker that's moderately accurate, like 70, 80%, because like a couple of minutes here and there, a couple tosses and turns here and there, not that big of a deal. I would mainly want to know what my respiratory rate is, my resting heart rate, and my HRV. I would think that those would be three of the top metrics I would want in that sleep thing. But the factor that a lot of people don't think about when it comes to getting a good fitness tracker, especially when sleep is involved, is you need to be able to start tracking what are the things you're doing prior to sleep that make up good sleep or not. Whoop has their journal. I think their journal's the best. There's like cryotherapy. You can just choose so many different things and put input into the journal. That way you can see on bad days, you can start pulling out trends like, oh, I ate too late close to bed, and that bumped my resting heart rate, which definitely made me have a worse night of sleep. I don't feel very good. You can start pulling out all these trends. Oura Ring has that too, but they're called tags. And instead of being able to kind of like write your own specific things, they have a preset list of tags. And you go in there and you start clicking. So is it worth it to you? I mean, if sleep performance is really bad, maybe it is. It's nice. The form factor is nice that it's a ring. You don't have to wear that. The battery life is pretty good. Is it worth the $300, $400 plus is it $5.99 or $6? I think it's $6.99, but you get 6 months for free. That's up to you whether or not budget. But there are other sleep trackers out there that will do a fairly good job of sleep tracking and not cost you that subscription. So let me know what you think. Daniel follows up with, or should I think about getting a secondhand Gen 2? Is secondhand tech not the best? Here's where I would be wary of the secondhand tech. Oura Ring's battery life is really bad. They know their battery. This is one of those shady things that they did that I'm not a huge fan of. This is just my opinion. I could be totally wrong. But they've got a battery that lasts about 2 years. And they've had this battery for a while. And they didn't improve the battery tech, or at least they have not mentioned at all anywhere that they improved the battery tech. But one thing that they did do was lower the warranty from 2 years to 1 year. So now you're even more like liable that this battery is going to go out and you're stuck, and you're going to have to buy an entire new ring if that happens. Just FYI. So yeah, I'll let you be the judge of that. One thing that I thought was really interesting is companies doing a bunch of these future promises. So Oura Ring's got this brand new sleep algorithm that they say is going to come out in 2022. But one of the other things that I've been looking forward to most is their intra-workout data. It's the main reason I don't use Oura Ring, right? Is because they don't give me heart rate measurements during workouts. I don't get any data during workouts. They're changing this for 2022. But what I thought was interesting, let me maximize this. Start, pause, end a workout. It says right here, select from a range of workouts. Current workouts include running, walking, and cycling. That's a really short list. Running, walking, and cycling. Remember, there's no data on your ring, because it's a ring. It's only on your phone. It seems like, yeah, you can pull your phone out from your walking, but if you're a runner, that seems kind of ridiculous. You're not going to probably pull out this while you're running and then try to stare. What's my heart rate at? I don't know. For cycling, it's a little easier because you can attach it to your handlebars and look down, but it just seems like a really dumb decision to make those your only workouts. They say more workouts are coming soon, but like really I see cycling being the only one that you might use, the intra-workout data. All of your workout data you can see at the end, and I've been able to see some of that using my wife's because she also has the Oura Ring 3. But anyway, just really interesting decisions from Oura Ring 3. Now, here's an interesting device. Now, I should be able to show this. Hopefully my iPad's still going funky. It's not working. So we're not going to use that at all. Let me show you something real interesting here. Let us remove this and add this. And Oh, I don't think it'll let me do that. Let me try it here. Video clips. This way you guys can listen to it. All right. This is the new Amazon Halo View. It's uploading. Once this video is uploaded, I want you to watch it because the Amazon Halo for me was an interesting product, but it fell short in a lot of areas. I had no idea they were building a second one, and the second one makes things a little more interesting. And for you, Daniel, Craig, people that might be thinking about going to the Oura Ring, this might be an alternative. Let me answer Craig's question first, though. Most of the sleep trackers are tracked on the wrist. I've seen reviews on accuracy of 4.0 is better on the bicep than the wrist. In some ways, yes. In some ways, no. But I mean, like, here's the deal. The further away you get from your center of mass, the more that's going to become, like, inaccurate. Like, having something on the very extension, there's going to be far more movement up here than there is here. You know what I mean? So the closer you can get it to your chest and you can get everything to your chest is better. That's talking from an accelerometer standpoint. That's talking from like the heart rate standpoint. Now, heart rate may be a little different on Oura just because of the sensors that they use. They're trying to track arteries rather than just like little teeny tiny veins. But anyway, all right. So here is the Amazon Halo View. Let's watch this video.
Introducing Amazon Halo View, the newest way to build healthier habits right from your wrist. Halo View makes it easy to measure your activity or check your step count. It's ready to go where you go. So you can check your live hoop rate or heart rate, use timers while you train, stay connected, and start live workouts. And Halo is much more than a band. It's also a membership designed to help you understand how all the parts of your health connect. Like, do you sleep more soundly at night if you work out in the morning? And how can simple moves lead to big change? Halo accurately measures your movement health and provides a personalized program that can help you improve over time. There are also hundreds of healthy recipes, daily meditations, premium on-demand fitness programs, and more. You can even analyze your body composition and your tone of voice. Plus, Halo is always getting smarter to provide more ways to help you make the informed choices you need to build healthier habits for life. Amazon Halo View. Another way health is better with Halo.
What'd you guys think? I think the Amazon Halo View, I've got one ordered. It's supposed to be here next week. So I'm going to do a big review on it, a first impressions and then a big review. But I think this becomes a lot more compelling for people that might be thinking of going to the Oura Ring because it does pretty much everything Oura Ring does, not to the level Oura Ring does. I'm sure Oura Ring's I know Oura Ring's algorithm is going to be quite a bit more robust and thus make it a little more accurate. But you know, the drawback of Oura Ring was like you couldn't get live heart rate data. Amazon Halo, you can. Now you can with Oura Ring, but you're stuck with 3 workouts that don't really seem very practical until much later on when they start adding new ones. So you can start live workouts. You can do a mess of stuff. Let's go back into, so you've got activity tracking, sleep time and assessment. That was fast, sorry. On-the-go control, long-lasting connections, 7-day battery life. There's a lot of really interesting things that this fitness tracker does. And it does, it gives activity like an interesting measurement because they've kind of like gamified fitness. Like if you watch this, check this out. So it gives you points on your accuracy and you can set how many points you want to gain in a week, but it just like gamifies the process of fitness, which generally for anybody that's like maybe a beginner out there, you know, intermediate, gamifying fitness is a great way to improve your fitness. It becomes a game. We like games. So I think it's really interesting. Now here's the other thing. It's $80. When you buy it, you get an entire free year of membership. So, and then the membership after that is only $3.99 a month. So it's half of the subscription cost of the Oura Ring. It's going to do everything Oura Ring does and a whole lot more because it also lets you do the meditations. It does a movement analysis. It will do a body fat assessment. It will do workout assessment, like some crazy stuff in there. And the whole first year is free, and after that, it's $3.99. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think it's a pretty compelling little device. I'm excited to get it, and that should be, yeah. I'm looking forward to it. Let me know what you guys think on there. I need to see some opinions. The last thing I want to talk about is also, listen, guys, if you've got questions, like, throw them up. Please do. Throw up those questions if you have one. I will definitely answer. Here is something really interesting. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Omega Wave. Have you guys ever heard of Omega Wave? This is Omega Wave right here. Okay, it's this funky little thing. I have it. Where do I have it? I don't. Oh, here we go. Sorry. So here's Omega Wave. Omega Wave reached out to me. I think this is a really cool product. Not too long ago, I did a poll on what you guys are using your Whoop for, what you're using your Oura Ring for, and it was like 80%. So overwhelming majority uses their fitness tracker mostly for recovery. They want to know about sleep and recovery. And they don't really use it for the strain. They don't really use it for the fitness tracker. They just want to know, like, am I recovered and have I slept well? So I'm interested in how Halo compares to Fitbit. Yeah, so for me, Kelly, thank you for the question. That's a great question. I personally hated Fitbit's UI. I've said this many times in my videos, like, I don't care what features you're offering. If that product gets in my way and it becomes a pain to use, I won't use it. And that's how I felt. I tried the Fitbit Sense. That was like the nicest product they had at the time, and I just didn't like it. It felt clunky. It was unresponsive. I hated, like, how I had to try to find things. On the opposite side of the spectrum, the Amazon Halo was so easy to use. I really dug the UI experience of the Amazon Halo. As far as, like, how it's going to compare algorithmically, I wish I could find out. I have emailed Amazon several times trying to get, like, hey, how many times a second are you taking readings, right? Like, because I know that from Whoop, I know that from Oura Ring, I know how many Fitbit was taking. We can look at the actual data from Apple and get that. Unfortunately, Amazon just wouldn't share that. Yep, I want an alternative to Fitbit without it being really expensive. It's going to be cheap. Like I said, $80 and an entire year for free. So you could spend $80, get an entire year, and then ditch it if you wanted. And you're only out $80. And it does everything that the Fitbit's pretty much going to do. It even offers blood oxygen saturation, which is crazy. A lot of these trackers are sounding kind of the same as far as what they track: steps, heart rate, alerts. Yeah. I'm mostly concerned with the accuracy of sleep tracking and recovery and heart rate. Yeah. So for me, that's why I choose Whoop, because the accuracy of all three of those are awesome. That's just me personally. And some people like Oura Ring. Anyway. So when it comes to here, I'm mostly concerned with the accuracy of sleep tracking, recovery, and heart rate. That's where this product comes in, and it's really pretty cool. You can't see it, but it says Omega Wave. This is a product from Russia, and that's maybe why you haven't heard of it. But it uses a heart rate monitor, heart rate sensor, but it's an ECG heart rate sensor. So it actually takes an echocardiogram while you're doing. So it takes an echocardiogram, but the other reason that this becomes really interesting is that this connects to your brain and actually measures your DC potential, which is a measurement of recovery through, like, your nervous system. This product is only for recovery, and I think it's interesting because the overwhelming majority of my community uses their tracker, whether it's a Whoop or an Oura Ring or whatever, for just like Craig said, sleeping. Like, I want to know how well I slept, and I want to know how well I recovered. And that is pretty much the entirety of the Omega Wave. but it blows the doors off of both of those products as far as what it can track and how accurate it is. It is by far the most impressive recovery metric tool I've ever seen. Let me show you some graphs here of what it looks like. So it connects to your iPad or your iPhone, and I'm going to pull up the. So on here, let me ditch the captions so we can actually like see. But on this, you're going to see windows of trainability, training zones, functional state. So it gives you a score out of a 7. I got very good on this day, which is nice, 6.3. But notice under functional state, we've got 2 measurements. I've got my central nervous system score and cardiac score. So now I get to see how good, how ready my heart is, but I also get to see how ready my brain is. And for somebody like me who was dealing with concussions, that brain sector is so important. My resting heart rate gave me my resting heart rate, 56 BPMs. This green graph right here lets me know what zones I could train in effectively. Now, this is what's really cool. Windows of trainability. So with Whoop or the Oura Ring, they simply say you're good to go, you're not good to go, right? Like readiness, recovery, whatever. This actually tells you what types of training you're suited for depending on your recovery. So endurance training, I would be good to go. Speed and power was a little below average. Notice how it ties into the central nervous system. Strength, coordination, skill are all ready to go. I think that's freaking rad. Don't you? I think that is so damn cool that this thing can actually separate out what kind of training you're doing. So who's this for? I think this is for a more advanced type of athlete. Or if you are a coach and you have a bunch of athletes, you can actually put up to like 10 athletes and do trainings. The nice thing is you don't have to wear this all night. You don't have to do this test. Like this doesn't take a ton of day. This took me 4 minutes to do. You just lay on the ground, stick the little sticker on your forehead, put one on your thumb, put this around your chest, start the test. And within 4 minutes, it will let you know exactly what you can pretty much do that day to the highest level you possibly can. Now, there's more to this. So from here, let me pull up this next slide. Bam. Here's the next thing. This is my cardiac system. And so much of this is above my pay grade. But it will talk about stress, system readiness, resting heart rate, right? It goes into your parasympathetic system, your sympathetic system, just kind of nuts. Like this, like I said, this is above my paid grade. I would need a freaking doctor to like help me out with this. Here's the next one. This is actually the measurement for your brain. So this is your brain scan. And yeah, pretty incredible. System readiness, DC potential. It can actually tell you, like, depending on the type of curve you have, it will let you know what you're ready for and what it means. One of my favorite things about this product is as you're looking at the data, everything you click on, I can't do it here because it's like a video that I've already recorded, but everything you click on will give you what it means and what you need to do to improve it. I think that's so cool. And so if you're somebody that is only worried about recovery and just the factors that go into recovery and how you can train the next day, like if you're trying to figure out sleep habits, maybe not the best one, but if you're just looking at recovery and you want to perform optimally, this device is amazing. Again, it's a one-time buy. There's no subscription, I don't think. I'm almost positive it's not. You would just have to, these are like medical grade stickies. So I think that's the only thing you would have to buy is like the sticky so that you can continue to do the test. And right, you're doing a test every day. So that can add up. But anyway, Omega Wave. Russia, the Russians created this and it's rad. So you've got incredibly accurate heart rate monitoring, but you can't see it, right? Like you're not looking at your heart rate. There's nothing to show you like what's going on with your heart. It's just a test to let you know how recovered and how ready you are for training. Craig asks, you have a link so I can look into it more. I don't, because they are some weird Russian company. If you go onto Instagram though, and you type in Omega Wave, all one word, that's it, Omega Wave. So just type into that. You can check it out. I'm sure you can find a link on Google, but they reached out to me, and after reviewing some of the stuff that they did, I was like, yes, please send me some. I haven't used it as much because for the last 6 months I've been out. Like, I've torn a small muscle in my lat called your coracobrachialis, and then I got some crazy respiratory virus, and I haven't been able to train like I want to. So I just haven't needed it. But once I start doing it, I absolutely will. Now, sorry, John, I missed yours. John, have you done any weightlifting with your Oura Ring? I have. They actually don't recommend it. Do you think people would wear it in the gym? Yeah, you could totally wear it in the gym. Oura Ring says do not wear your ring while weightlifting. Obviously, for safety reasons, you don't want to get that. You don't want to like pinch your skin, which you can't. I haven't had that, but it does happen, and so that's why they stated it. But then you're kind of SOL, right? Like, you're out of those workout metrics if that's why you bought it. Would you say be interested in a smart ring with a softer shell like silicone? It's not necessarily that it's hard. The ring form factor has never bothered me. Again, the limiting factor for Oura Ring for me is just the lack of intra-workout data. That's it. For the most part, I found the ring itself to be pretty darn comfortable. You could always take something like an Enzo ring or something like that and wrap it around it. But yeah, that's my limiting factor, is the data, not the form factor or the comfort. Just FYI. I want to go back to this. Craig says a lot of these trackers are kind of sounding the same as far as what they track. Yeah, there's not much. There's not many of these fitness trackers that are really doing something different. I think the Amazon Halo View actually is. The fact that you can do a body fat assessment is kind of insane. That's actually a bigger metric for health than so many of these other things. If you're carrying around a lot of weight, I can't tell you, like, this isn't a knock to being obese, but being obese and being much heavier than you should be just starts a cascade of like bad conditions for you. So if you can take an accurate look at body fat, because the scale isn't a great place to measure progress by any means, but if you can look and you're like, okay, I'm 18% body fat, that's pretty good. I need to get down to 15. And you don't have to go and get like calipered or bod potted or poked and prodded by somebody at the gym. Like, that's huge. If you could just do that in your room, I think that's badass. So I think Amazon Halo View, for what it can do, to me, is probably the most compelling product coming out this year / next year. Everything that it does, even though it might not excel at some of those things, it might be just run of the mill at some of those things, but for the price, it just seems so interesting. I would definitely look at it. That's like a consideration. As long as the screen is good. This is the Fitbit Sense thing. If I'm sitting there like, oh, fuck, like, just activate, please. Like, if I got to swipe 3 times, I would just chuck it. But that's just me. The other product that we were supposed to get this year that could have absolute game-changing ramifications was the Apple Watch. We got an Apple Watch this year, but there was one feature we didn't get that was rumored to have, and it's supposed to come out next year. And that is the world's first non-invasive continuous glucose monitor. I'm sure you've seen people wear those like little sticky pads in the back of your triceps. I've worn them. You've seen me do a review of NutriSense. Those things are expensive, but what they measure, that data is invaluable, especially if you're pre-diabetic or diabetic. Insulin resistant. Knowing your glucose levels, like blood sugar and insulin sensitivity, are pretty those are metrics that if you can improve, you improve like your entire system. The problem is like you got to stick yourself, and the reason I ditched it is, yes, it's painless going on, but both of the ones I used, after about a week, the prong bent and actually gave me a little bit of nerve damage. Like if I run my hand back here, it's still painful, and I haven't worn it in months. But the data was amazing. It was like eye-opening, and I got to learn so much about not only what foods do to my blood sugar levels, but what kind of exercise like affects my my blood sugar level. And it was really, really cool. If you can now have an Apple Watch that does the exact same thing, but doesn't need to poke you at all, and you can get readouts whenever you want. Like I've eaten a meal, I can look, okay, I did some sprints, and I can look. Freaking awesome. Yes, Apple Watch is great, but the battery drives me crazy. Yeah, me too. That's why I don't wear it. Like if I gotta like put it on a charger pretty much every night, so be it. I would literally buy an Apple Watch despite the battery issues, despite the crappy sleep tracking issues, if it had this continuous glucose monitor. That's how important that data is and how big and revolutionary I think that could be. I would buy one just for that feature. So anyway, those are the big things that I see for 2022. I think Whoop, if they hadn't dropped the ball so much on shipping and people already had theirs and the clothing was out and you could test it, I think that could be pretty big for 2022. And I'm saying big for Whoop. I really think companies like Lululemon, Nike, Under Armour, Reebok, they might start making clothing too, so you can use your Whoop. I think Whoop's going to do pretty good in 2022 because of that. I think this Amazon Halo View is pretty interesting. Omega Wave, I can't recommend it enough. If you are a high-level athlete and training and readiness is super important to you, or if you're a coach and you're working with a bunch of athletes, being able, like if you're a coach and you train like you're a soccer coach and you want to test your guys before they hit the pitch, like you could do that right before and see who's ready, whether it's a practice or a game. I guess you wouldn't do it during a game. You might like screw somebody's head up from that. But anyway, really interesting products. What do you guys think? What do you want out of your fitness tracker? The only thing I could add, honestly, for me is probably that continuous glucose monitor. If I got that functionality, that would be pretty epic. There's not really much else that I would want to like track in that way. Oh, here's another fitness tracker that you might not have even realized existed, and it's way more expensive than everything else. And that's actually the 8 Sleep Pod Pro. It's a bed, but it actually tracks your sleep. I don't know if you knew this, but it'll give you heart rate variability, how many times you tossed and turned during the night. It can give you your temperature. Like, it does so many things. It's actually got a haptic alarm in the mattress, like a really gradual. So like when the alarm goes off, you can feel the bed kind of like vibrate. The first time it happened, I didn't know I'd turned the alarm on, and I was like, what the hell is going on? And then I realized, oh, this is the bed. And then the next day it spit out all that data, and it was insanely accurate. I was like, holy crap, this is amazing. And then you get all of the sleep benefits of having the 8 Sleep Pod Pro, which is unbelievable mattress, amazing mattress. Plus it regulates temperature. It's even got a autopilot mode where it's measuring the ambient room temperature along with your temperature and adjusting the temperature of the mattress to find like the optimal conditions for you to sleep. That bed is bonkers. If that's something you're going to check out, I highly recommend using the link in my video about it because it'll save you a ton of money because they are expensive. The one I have is like $3,500, I want to say. Is it worth it? For sure. It would absolutely change your sleep. Guaranteed. So anyway, what times? We're at 10:45. Listen, we've got about 15 minutes. I am happy to answer any questions that you might have regarding any of this. Or if you just want to ask me like general fitness questions, health questions, you want to know what mic I'm using, I really don't care. I got 15 minutes. I am happy to answer all of those right now. Let's see here. Dun, dun, dun. It also snowed here. Salt Lake City dumped some snow this morning, so it's been kind of crazy. It's been super cold, but I loved it. We needed the snow so bad. Thank goodness for the FJ, because if I was driving around my little Kia Optima, I'd have like slid into a ditch. That's why I drive the FJ in the winter. Craig, let me just a sec, Craig. I'm gonna try to help you out with that link, by the way. Let's see, Omega Wave. Yeah, if you go to Google, it's just omegawave.com, even if you're still here. Oh, I'm on airplane mode. But anyway, omegawave.com, you can look at Omega Wave more in depth. Assesses, I'll see if you can see this, assesses in 4 minutes at rest, the only non-invasive readiness technology to assess both brain and heart, analyze detailed biological data on the central nervous system and cardiac system. Omega Wave tells you how to train optimally today: endurance, speed, power, strength, coordination, and skill. Interesting freaking stuff. It's pretty incredible. It's definitely a high level product meant for like high level athletes, but I think anybody could use it. Craig, got it. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. I love doing these things. I know there's not like a ton of people, and it's always more fun when there's more people because it usually creates a much bigger conversation. But for the 6 of you that are watching, thank you so much. I love doing it. I have some interesting plans for 2022 and doing live streams. And some of you might hate it, and some of you might love it. But I'm going to give it a shot. It's a roll of the dice. We'll see what happens. Anyway, if there's no more questions, I will let you guys just get on with your day. I know. Oh, here's one thing you can tell me. All right. There's only 6 of you here. The biggest one we had was like 40. That made me feel really cool. Just 40 people. It was so much fun, though. I did one with Katie. We got like 40 people. What's the best time for you guys when I do a live stream? Because for me, because I work from home, pretty much any time is the best time. I can do it super early. I can do it super late. But there are YouTube analytics that tell me when the most amount of my viewers are online. And on Friday, it's at 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So if there is a different time that you think would work better, I would love to know, just because I want to try to get as many people involved as we possibly can. And then let me know what you thought of today, if I answered your questions, so on and so forth. That's about it. Evenings are good. Kelly, evenings are good. I've thought about doing it around like 5 p.m., maybe 6 p.m. What do you think? Thanks. This was helpful. Hey, I'm super happy. If you have any other questions regarding like the Fitbit and Amazon Halo, let me know. Colby, now is good. You're still here, Colby. That means so much to me. Thank you. Just so everybody knows, Colby was my tattoo artist that gave me this, Strongest There Is. As you guys know, I'm a huge fan of the Hulk. That's what he says. And I did a video, and Colby was on there. Plus, Colby and I have known each other for, like 15 years playing volleyball together. Colby's a salt of the earth type of person. Love that guy. Yeah, Kelly, this is what I would do. I would totally abuse the Amazon return policy and buy both a Fitbit that you're looking at. I'd probably say the Fitbit Charge 4. That's probably gotten the best reviews out of all of the Fitbits. Grab the Charge 4. Grab the Amazon. Come on, Brandon. Keep it together. Grab the Amazon Halo View and wear them both for like a week and see which one you like. And whatever one you don't like, just return it. Because Amazon Prime, right? No preference. Here's also the other thing is just make sure you say it's defective or they'll charge you a bunch of money to return it. No preference, but as long as I'm not too late because I might be drinking adult beverages. Craig, if you're really worried about your sleeping and your recovery, that adult beverage is going to get in the way of that. And I definitely don't want to be typing anything at that point. Got to keep it PG-13. Very true. Very true. Here's a fun fact. until my friend tricked me into drinking alcoholic lemonade at Manhattan Beach Six Man, a big volleyball tournament like 3 years ago. I had never had a drop of alcohol. And I about strangled him to death. Colby knows him, Joe Hillman. Joe, if you ever watch one of these, I'm going to still want to strangle you. Kelly, great idea. Yeah, it's funny. I had this no Saturdays. I had this conversation with an Amazon employee, like customer service. I'd returned something that I can't remember but it was brand new. I returned it to them, and I returned it because a feature didn't work, but it wasn't working. It wasn't defective, right? So they were like, is it broken? I was like, no, but this feature isn't like what you guys described. And so they charged me, like, I want to say like a 20% restocking fee. And I was like, I don't get it. Like, why isn't this free? Like, this isn't as described. And they're like, well, we don't do that unless it's damaged or broken. I was like, so what you're telling me is I should have just selected damaged or broken on the return notice instead of like not as expected. And they were like, yes. I was like, all right, I'm going to do it then. If that's my only recourse for not getting charged for an unused product, I will absolutely press the damaged button. So far, no problems. And we're still way too small for Amazon to give a shit. Anyway, great idea. My bad, no Saturdays then. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for the 4, 5, 6, 7 of you that got involved. Just made my day. I hope you have a great weekend. I will catch you later. Peace!